Good evening, beautiful people. We're getting ready to get started soon. I'm going to pin a comment now. Give me one moment as you all are tuning in. Just pinning a quick comment, y'all, so we can get this thing started. Let's see here. Good evening, beautiful people. It's your favorite real estate agent and investor, Sierra Thurman, and I'm here to help you build a legacy that moves you. I'm really excited about tonight's episode, Building and Bonding. We have the one, the only, the fabulous Miss Rashauna Scott. She is a managing broker. She is a real estate investor, and she is also the founder of Flipping in Heels. So we're going to wait for Rashauna to join us. I'm going to add her right on in. I'm going to invite her to our live. Shortly. But in the meantime, between time, how have you guys been doing? And do we have anybody who are either in the real estate industry, or maybe you're a new real estate investor, or this is something you're interested in getting into? I want you all to drop it in the chat below. Let me know. Hey, what's going on, Crystal? It's good seeing you, beautiful. Yes. Miss Crystal is a real estate investor. Let me know where y'all from. Are you in the real estate industry, or are you a potential investor, or are you just here to learn? All of it is good to go. Waiting on Miss Rashauna, and then we're going to get started. And if you all have any questions, I want you all to drop those in the chat as well so we can get those questions answered. Let's see here. Okay, Miss Rashauna. Hopefully, try this again to invite her. Hey, Rashauna, I see you joined us. I'm going to try to invite you. See if you can accept the invitation. We're really excited to talk to you, Missy. So I invited you, Rashauna. I'm not sure if you're on your laptop or if you're on your phone. Let's see if you can tap in. Rashauna, let me know if you see the actual invitation or not. We probably should have did a little test run. We're gonna get it together, y'all. We promise. It keeps saying you're unable to join. I don't know why. What's going on? I sent the invitation. I think there you go. Yes. Hi, Rashauna. We can't hear you just yet.
Hold on.
Okay. I think we lost Rashauna. We're gonna try this again, y'all. We're gonna get it. In the meantime, between time, y'all tag some folks, let them know we getting ready to get started with building and bonding. Let your people know who need to hear this conversation. Tag some people, let them know about our live, getting ready to get started. I think it's definitely going to be valuable information. Okay. Hi, Rashauna.
Good.
How are you?
Hey, I'm good. So
I see you took the braids out. You took the braids out.
I did, girl. I did.
It looks beautiful. Your hair looks really pretty.
Thank you, babe. You know, when your beautician says your hair is healthy, you like, okay, I was doing
Let me
something
go
right.
ahead and like pop this on out.
You know, because
Yeah,
you never
it's
know.
really
You know, when you
beautiful.
thank you, babe. You never know. You know, when you have braids for so long, you never know if it's gonna break off. I got this color in, so I know. But and you look fabulous, by the way.
Thank you. I'm glad you were able to join us. I know we had a little technical difficulties at first, but I'm glad you're in the house. I introduced you, but for those who may not know you, I just want you to introduce yourself really quick.
All right, cool. Hey, everybody. So I'm Rashauna Scott. I am an Illinois licensed real estate broker. I'm at Keller Williams One Chicago. I do have, I run a team of agents also at Keller Williams One Chicago. I'm also an investor in the Southside Market Center. I am an investor as well. I'm a real estate investor, and I am the founder of Flipping in Heels, which is a community for women real estate investors.
Yes.
So all things real estate.
all the things.
Yes.
So Rashauna, can you tell our viewers how you got started in real estate? How did you get started?
So I got started in real estate. Someone gave me a book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. And after reading that book, I was like, okay, I'm going to do real estate. So I was probably about 17 or 18.
Oh, wow.
When I read that book, and I was like, I'm going to try to figure out this real estate thing.
So from the age of 17, is that when you first started investing? You started thinking about being an agent? What was the exact start?
Yes, I had a mentor at the time who actually sat me down because I was like, look, I want to get involved in real estate, but I don't know where to start. Mm-hmm. So I actually had a mentor who was like, okay, well, if you're serious about, getting involved in real estate, meet me at the library, this weekend, and we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about, all things real estate. And thankfully, him, from that conversation, we sat down and we talked about like the differences between being an agent and being an investor and things like that. And then I was like, okay, I want to be an investor.
Okay.
And then I started my first business when I was 19. So in 2011, and I built up a business line of credit. And I was like, okay, all right, well, what's next? Like I did all the things to like get a business established. And I was like, what's next? And I was searching for the answers, and then I found a guru program. So, like one of those 3-day weekend seminars, you know, they upsell you and they upsell you and they upsell you again. So I joined one of those guru programs, and then I started investing in real estate, but I also got my leasing license at the same time because I felt like, when I really wanted to figure out how to get.
I think your volume went out. Oh, your volume went out, Rashauna. We can't hear you.
Still?
Okay, there you go. You back.
Okay. Sorry, I forgot to turn my timer off. I got a timer that tells me how long I've been on Instagram too long. So it'd be like, get off. It's like a couple minutes, and it'd be like, you on it too long. But anyway, so I joined the guru program, and I also got my leasing license. So I did leasing for about a year in 2013, and then I was like, you know what? It was an easy way, obviously, to get into real estate. I only had to, take a class for 2 days, and then take the test, study for the week. It was just like a weekend class. And then after that, I did leasing for a year. But I was actually underneath someone. I was on a team. Okay. And so about a week ago, I did a video about the importance of like starting on a team when you're just starting out, and how much, you can learn. Absolutely. And you can shorten that learning curve. Because the thing about being a realtor, like once you pass that exam, once you actually get in these streets and start selling real estate, like it has nothing to do with,
nothing that you learned in school, right?
Nothing at all, right? And so I did leasing for a year, and then I did I joined that guru program, and I did that for about 2 years. And then I did my very first investment in 2015, and that was a private real estate investment deal. So I was an angel investor in somebody else's project. And then After that, I did some wholesale deals. I did some tax lien investing. I did some flips. And then I went back in 2017 and I got my broker's license. And I've been selling real estate ever
Oh,
since.
listen, honey, I can't keep up. All right. So you started out as an investor, which that's new for, I didn't know you actually started as a real estate investor first. And
Mm-hmm.
then you went into being an actual real estate broker.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of both at the same time. Like, I really had a desire to be an investor, but I couldn't figure it out. Like, I was a young broke college student, like just searching for the answers. I was going to all the workshops, all the seminars, all the free conferences that I could, just really trying to figure it out. And then, like I said, I couldn't figure it out. So I was like, well, at least let me just get my license. And then that'll be like my feet, getting my feet wet and getting in the door.
So what would you say was your first project that you took on? I know you say you was an angel investor for someone else initially, but what was your first project, or do you have a particular type of real estate investment strategy that you have?
That I have now, yes, but before it was flipping. So I flipped a number of properties over the past couple of years, and I will always, with those flips, I partnered with 3 different contractors from, goodness, what would be the years? I don't know. I would say over the past couple of years. So probably 17, from 17 or 18 was when I did my first one. So from 17 or 18 all the way up until last year. So for about 5 years, I had partnerships with different contractors, and I was flipping. But even going back before then, as I mentioned, like that very first deal where I invested in somebody else's project, that allowed me to mentor hack.
Okay.
So I really wanted to invest in real estate, and I wanted to figure it out. But I couldn't take on a whole project by myself. I didn't have the knowledge, the skill set, or the bandwidth, right, frankly, to do so. But because I was an investor, that allowed me the opportunity to show up to the project, ask questions, and be involved, because I knew that eventually I wanted to start doing my own. So full circle, it's so funny because I was like, man, I'm investing in this project as my first deal. And then I was like, man, I really want to even start like raising money and things like that over the years. But I was like, who's going to invest with me? Like this little young, Black girl, she don't know nothing about it. But fast forward, a good number of my projects, I was able to finance and put, none of my money in, because we were able to, leverage hard money for the fix and flip loans, and I brought in a private investor for the rest.
Nice. Yeah. And now you've transitioned to something even bigger, which is a managing broker. So how are you juggling these responsibilities? What are your responsibilities as a managing broker?
So I'm licensed as a managing broker, but thankfully our office already has a managing broker in place. So thankfully, that's not a role that I have to actively be in. However, I am the leader of my team. So I oversee, lead, train, develop the agents on my team, the agents that are coming in. And then once we open our market center on the south side of Chicago, then I'll move into an additional role there. But as of right now, like, I've been licensed as a managing broker for 2.5 years, but I don't have to actively use it because we already have an active sitting managing broker. Yeah.
But honestly, as a team leader, that's another role that you have to juggle, and there's a lot of responsibilities that come with that. Absolutely. So maybe we have some other realtors on here, and they're thinking about becoming a team leader. Do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So first of all, I would say, you have to, first of all, figure out, like, why are you starting a team? All right. So, like, running a team, starting a team, having a team is not for everybody. First and foremost, I started a team, honestly, just out of abundance. Like, I didn't start a team because I was like, oh, I want this mega agent team and I want to make all this money. It was in the pandemic when interest rates was 2% and 3%, and I was generating like 10 leads a day, and it was crazy. Everybody and their mama wanted to get into real estate. And I was like, it was so much opportunity to go around. I was like, there's an opportunity right now to get involved in this business, in this industry, and to make a lot of money. Absolutely. And I wanted to bring other women in who could, get a piece of that, really. Right. And so that was why I started it. It was truly out of abundance. And then the other thing too, you know, being a leader, like, man, there's so many lessons in leadership and how you have to lead. Like, I try my best to lead with love and lead with grace and lead with integrity, always integrity, right? Integrity first, and leading with understanding.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand different personality types, right? You have
Okay.
to understand learning styles. You have to understand different triggers, you know, all the things. The other thing too is that when it comes to adding value, right? So when you have people that are on your team, you may offer certain things as ways in which you add
Mm-hmm.
value, but not everybody values, and not everybody has the same values,
Right,
right?
right.
People have different values and different beliefs and things like that. What's up, Wanaki? Hey, girl. So, you know, people have different beliefs and different values, and you have to identify that and speak to those and make sure those needs are met, right? The other thing,
Absolutely.
too, is that your world has to be so big that other people can see themselves in it,
Mm.
right? Your team, your vision for your team that you cast has to be so much bigger than you. And that's why I said, you know, man, in life and business and entrepreneurship, just getting started and just saying like, oh, I want to make money. Like, money is absolutely the byproduct. It is
Right.
so much work that goes into um man, just
The
laying out
behind
a
the
foundation,
scenes.
laying
Yes.
out a foundation, putting standards in place and
Mm.
systems in place, you know, and things like that to build and to scale and to grow. But to answer your question, when you're like, man, how do you do it all? It really is through systems and
Okay.
efficiency and things like that. Like, my brain is always trying to figure out, how can I do this quicker? How can I do this better? How can I do this faster? Right? Like, when I'm looking at ways in which my business is stretched and ways in which I want to transform it, you know, what I'm looking at is, one, you know, can this be, you know, this particular task, right? Can it be, you know,
Yeah.
delegated, or can it be eliminated, right?
Mm.
How can I duplicate myself? I remember some of the first systems that I built out in my business was as simple as email templates, right?
Okay.
Because I realized that I was having the
How-
same conversation with
Same.
clients over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
And I recall being one of the first realtors in the Chicagoland area. And the reason why I know this is because nobody else is doing it.
Right.
My email template started going out saying, hey, congratulations, you're under contract. This is the purchase price. This is this. This is it. This is this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually getting responses from OG realtors, people that have been in the
Wow.
industry 20, 30 years. Like, wow, I've never seen it detailed
Mm-hmm.
like this, and I've never seen it like this, and I've never seen it like that. But that's the system, right?
Yes.
And so now I'm able to go in and I'm able to duplicate that every single time, because these are important details of a contract that we don't need to get missed at all.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we make sure that it doesn't get missed? We create a template, and then now the template is followed every single time.
Nice.
And being able to just take that and replicate that and duplicate that over and over and over again will help you scale and
Okay.
grow.
Y'all catching all these gems she dropping? She dropping a lot of them. I love that delegation word, right? That
Yeah.
was, or eliminate. I'm like, okay, I'm taking my notes down as well.
Yeah.
Are you able to share with us maybe like a memorable real estate investing story that you have, maybe one of your success stories and what that looked like?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me see which one. Do, 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 do. Well, I mean, I can talk about the most recent one that I did, where it is, Monica, don't be in this kind these comments cutting up. So a most recent investment that I did, where I had to actually get creative on.
Okay.
So in 2021, I contracted a 3-unit in a booming area on the south side of Chicago. And it came to me. So there's a number of realtors. How many realtors are in the chat? Just, you know, drop like a little fire emoji if there's some realtors in the chat. Or drop some houses. But yeah, so it came to me. There was a deal, and people talk about, like, it's so funny because I'm like, oh, I got into real estate because I wanted to be a better investor.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted it to help me become an investor. But the two really, at first I was like, oh, the two have nothing to do with each other. And I was saying that for a while, like they're completely unrelated. But then actually I started to leverage my license, and I still hear people say that to this day, like they're completely unrelated and they have nothing to do with each other. That's actually not true. And so I say that because this deal that I'm about to talk about, like, it came to me originally as a listing appointment, right? I would not have gotten that opportunity had I not been a realtor. But you got to stay ready, so you have to get ready, right? I was in the market to look for, a building, and I knew I was ready to buy. And when I walked this property, this particular seller had 2 properties that she wanted me to list. And so I walked the property, and as soon as I walked it, I was like, oh yeah, I'm buying this, right? I asked her how much she wanted for it, and then we went and we saw the second property, and then I went home and I sent the listing agreement for one, and I went home and I subtracted my commission and I sent the contract for the other one. Right? And so that opportunity came to me, because again, by me being a realtor. Now, fast forward, I was under contract for about 2 or 3 months, and I got denied twice for a loan. Because as an entrepreneur, right, the different loan programs and the different hoops and loops and things like that, we have to jump through sometimes. When you're looking at getting like long-term financing, like short-term financing, hard money loans, I could get approved for that. No problem, right? But we were also coming out of a pandemic. A lot of the lending laws had changed and things like that. And I had got denied, but I knew that I was set on buying this property. It was in a great location near the university.
You had random numbers. You knew.
It currently had equity in it, right? And I knew once I went in and put a little bit of money into it, I was going to be able to boost the equity even more. Yeah. And that's exactly what I was able to do. But again, like I said, I got denied for the loan twice. So what I did was I actually had a flip that had just closed. So I took that, the proceeds from that flip, and I went ahead and I invested it into, into the property. Into the new property. And I also ended up borrowing the money, borrowing a good portion of it too, because I was already accustomed to raising capital for like a number of the flips that I was doing anyway. So I already had relationships with investors from raising, money over time for that. Yeah.
Nice. So you was determined. You said, listen, I want this one.
I was so determined.
Yeah, I done ran these numbers.
I knew I was getting a good deal. Yeah. And I think that's the thing. Like, people, I will pass out on a good deal and I'll hold out on a great deal, right? If it's a great deal, I'm going to do what I got to do to try and get it done. Absolutely, Monica. I'm going to get creative and I'm going to get it done. I mean, I pulled out a line of credit. I took my flip proceeds and I borrowed money from an investor. Got it done, went in, bought the property cash because it already had about $100,000 in equity in it as is. I went in and then I did the renovations, over time, just as I could afford it. And then when I got the property reappraised, now the property has boosted $300,000 in equity, right? And then I'm able to turn around and do a cash out refinance on which I was able to do that. So so that was a birth strategy, essentially, right? You buy, you renovate, buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repair, right? So can y'all put that in the chat?
Birth method.
B and 4 R's, birth strategy. So it's buy, rehab, renovate. Wait, rehab and renovate is the same thing. Refinance, rent, repeat.
Yes.
So anyway, so that was a great deal. And I'm actually under contract right now for another deal that's very similar to that. And I actually had someone ask me recently, they were like, oh, why are you, because the other deal that's very similar to that is a 3-unit. And they were like, oh, why are you going down in units? Why aren't you going up? Why aren't you like going after, a 8 or a 12 or whatever? And I was like, I'm attracted to deals. Right? Period. Because I can go after a 6 or 8 or 10, like, okay, that's cool, but how much equity is there?
The numbers have to make sense for sure.
Yeah, the number has to make both sense and sense, right? And like I said, I'm passing out on good deals and holding out on great deals. And that's my investment niche, right? And I'm enjoying that and playing in that arena. I could take $300,000 and I can go to the hood and I can buy a 6 or 8 unit. that may or may not be appreciating in value at all. Or I could take 300,000 and go to a better neighborhood, do a full gut rehab like the one I'm under contract on right now. It's going to be a full gut rehab. I'll be all in at 600 on it, but the ARV is 950. So I'm able to go in and create 250,000 in equity
you're forcing that
by
appreciation.
doing the work. Right.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And that's just what, I enjoy doing, because I'm able to leverage that deal and go do more.
And with your experience, and you have years of it, I know you have some great real estate deals. You have some success in the business, but also this real estate thing ain't a game, right?
Girl, not at
So
all.
for those that in La La Land thinking everything is sweet, everything is cupcake rainbows, I want you to share with some of our viewers who, not to discourage them, but to just having a keeping it real moment. Have you had any challenges or setbacks in your real estate investing journey? And do you mind maybe sharing one of those?
Yeah, so remember I told you I had a couple of partners over the years, and in one of those partnerships, we were flipping and finishing up some projects. I want to say we had maybe 3 flips going on at the time, and my partner was responsible for managing the construction. Well, we had one particular house that was the house from you know what, and man, I mean, every time we turned around, right, the AC got stolen, it got broken into, they cut the power trying to disarm the alarm, so the sump pump went out. When it rained, it flooded, the whole nine. And so, of course, we ended up going over budget, on this project. And that particular partner was like, hey, Will, I got a job out of state, so, we just filed bankrupt on a business, and, Carla won. And I'm like, no, we can't. No, we cannot do this, right? Like my name
wasn't giving up.
My integrity and everything is on the line, right? And I've had investors trust me to invest, with me in this project, right? And to be a good steward of, their finances, right? That project left me in a hole $50,000. And so, keeping it real moment. Yes. Yeah. But I will say, there were so many lessons that, of course, came out of that. One of the biggest things is the importance of having accountability and the importance of perspective. And I remember literally crying, the tears, everything. Why me? And one of my accountability sisters in our group chat was like, yeah, that reminds me of my story when my business partner left me high and dry with 100,000 in the hole. And I was like, dang. And I was like, but I saw where she currently was at. And, this is someone that I looked up to. And I was like, well, if she can come out of that, then I can come out of that. Right. So the importance of that, man, you only as successful as those in your group chat. So, get you some people that you can rely on, depend on, that you can cry with, that you can, that you can have fun with, turn up with, get money with, but also be real with, right? Because life is going to hit you. And when it does, you need a support system.
Absolutely.
And so, there was that, but then I also had to shift my mindset. And I was like, listen, God didn't bring me this far to just bring me this far. My story does not end here.
Absolutely.
And I was just like, you know what? You either going to hustle or you going to fold, and folding is not an option, right? Get out here, get back to work, hustle, pay these investors back.
It back up.
Pay these investors back and keep it moving. And that particular investor that I hustle and paid back, I kept in communication with him. I let him know what was going on. I gave him the tears. He didn't care about the tears. He was like, I don't care about your tears. I mean, I had lawyers calling, everything. But at the end of the day, when I paid him back, to this day, this was years ago, to this day, he is literally ready for an investment deal today, right now. Because he's like, you know what? I saw your hustle through that, right? I saw your sacrifice. I saw your, I saw so many people will fold, right? So many people would disappear and stop answering phone calls and things
or
like
quit,
that, right?
People would just quit, like, you know what? This real estate thing ain't for
real
me.
Quick.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And you overcame that.
People be like, oh, they just stop answering their phone. It just be all types of stuff.
Disappear.
But but I was like, nah, like, you know, this is not a part of, you know, where my journey ends. And
That's
so, yeah, I
powerful. That's
hustled.
super powerful.
Absolutely.
I definitely
Integrity first.
appreciate you
Integrity
sharing
first.
that.
And it wasn't easy at all. But I was
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what? I serve a God of abundance.
That part.
And I know that he did not bring me this far to only bring me this far. Like, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't like my story was going to end here and I'm going to just cry and go in a hole. Like, no,
Mm-hmm.
you got to get to work. You got to put
Absolutely.
your big girl drawers on and you
Get
got to get to work. You want to
busy.
play out here with the big
That's
dogs?
what. Hey.
You're going to have to be prepared to take some big hits because
Yeah.
they going to
But
come.
it's part of the game. You win some, you lose some, but it's part of your game, and it's going to help you with your experience. And it's going to help you doing better in the future. So we all take our licks. So I definitely applaud you for sticking it out, overcoming, not giving up, being a woman of integrity, and really showing that investor like you can trust me and continue to do business with me because
Yeah.
my name and my reputation means everything, and I stand on
And
that.
that's really
So
what it was.
good job.
Because first of all, the world is small. And in real estate, it is even smaller.
Yes, it
Okay.
is. Yes,
So
it is.
you well, nobody's gonna be out here talking about I owe them a dime.
Hello. So, okay, well, you talked early on in your journey about flipping, right? You've recently talked to us about a buy and hold that you just took down. Do you have a particular investing strategy? Are you focusing more on the buy and holds? Are you focusing more on residential? Are you focusing more on fixing and flipping? Are you focusing on commercial? Or is it just strictly, let me find a deal? Or do you have a particular strategy that you're kind of working towards?
Ooh, she getting in the business, y'all. You heard it here first. Now, I want to make sure y'all are listening though. I need to know who is in there. Y'all, I need y'all to drop your listening ears in the chat because I did not plan on sharing this at all publicly. So the 16 of y'all that are in here, y'all getting the exclusive on where my mindset is and where my mindset is going. So earlier this year, so I'm 32, by the way. I just turned
And you
32.
so
Earlier this year,
young, girl. You
and
so young. I'm
but I
so
say that
proud
to put
of
it in
you.
perspective.
I'm so proud of you. But go ahead. I'm
Thank
sorry.
you, sis. Thank you. So earlier this year, I was like, you know what? I want to make more and work less. That was really it. Like that was really what the fuck. What's up, Brooklyn in the house? But that was really it. You know, I was like, I just really want to work more. I mean, I really want to make more and work less.
Yes.
How can I focus on that? How can I do that? Right. And so we get there through passive income, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Streams of income. And so I have different income streams that I've worked on, that I've set up. One through my real estate company, through Keller Williams, which has a phenomenal program for paying you out 3 generations down. You know, they protect your legacy, all of that good stuff. So boom, that's it. I got #1 growth partner of the year last year,
Congrats.
and that will continue to grow and roll over. Great. Then, you know, it's funny. I used to have this goal before I turned 30. No, even when I was younger than that, I was like, I want 100 units. I want 100 doors, right? Then I was like, okay, I'm not really on that trajectory, but I was like, okay, I want 30 doors by the time I'm 30. Then I was like, I'm not really on that trajectory. And then I was like, you know what? As I'm working with different clients, I'm like, you know what? Well, I don't really want to invest in this area or invest in that area or invest this way or invest that way, right? And that's what I was talking about, like crafting like my investment niche. I was like, you know what? It's not even about like the number of doors, right? It's about the cash flow. It's about the equity. It's about, the opportunities for me. And so as I'm working with so many clients, because a lot of my clients are investors, I'm like, I don't really want to do the landlord thing. I don't really want to do I don't really want to do that life, and I've done the flip. So, I experienced that. And I've gotten some confirmation over the years that has pushed me now towards going after mortgage notes.
Okay.
So that's where I'm headed, is purchasing that. I got a conference that I'm going to at the end of the month. And anything that I decide that I'm going to, get involved in, and I'm like, I'm going to do this, I completely, just go all in. Like when I got my broker's license, my manager broker's license, I was like, man, I want to get it done and get it out the way, right?
Yep.
And so I literally took the class in 2 weeks. I studied for a week, and then on the 4th week, I went in and took my exam, right? But I was able to like laser focus.
Yeah.
And then it's the same thing with, you know, getting into any new strategy or anything that it is that you're trying to do, you know? So yeah, so that's the next thing that I'm focused on. So I'll be doing deals. I'll be doing great deals as they come. I like to go after no-brainer deals. So again, if it's a no-brainer deal, it currently has equity, at least 100,000 in equity currently. And then on the back end, I'm able to do some sweat equity, do a value add, and maybe boost it another 200 to 300. That's what I like. That's, you know, my sweet spot. And then, and those opportunities are found off market more than likely, or just, you know, done through relationships. But then also too, like I said, how can I make more and work less? And it's going to be through systems and team and people. So I'm also building out teams for agents in other cities. So I have a great network of people from all over the country through, you know, traveling and speaking and things like that. And I'm meeting agents nationwide that need help, that are like, hey, how can I grow my business?
Yeah.
How can I get leads? How do I do this? How do I do that? Right? How do I have these systems? How do I set these things up? Right? And so I have literally over the past year been building out a virtual support hub for agents. So where your job as an agent is to go into the field and just do what you do best, right? Everything behind a computer can be and should be done for you.
Wow.
Like the very first time that I hired my very first assistant, I didn't have any other teams. I didn't have anybody on my team. It was literally just me. And I remember I would have like 20 deals under contract at a time. And the second that I hired my first assistant, my business tripled. And so I was like, okay, well, there's, you know, a piece of leverage there. Gary Keller talks about it. Like you're, you know, in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, your very first point of leverage should be an assistant. But then there's so many other things that you leverage outside of that. Like people will ask me, like, if I wish I could do a screen share so I could show you like how much my assistant gets done in a day. And people will ask like, well, what do you have her doing? I'm like, anything I can think of. Anything that can be done behind the computer.
Your time, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, so I don't know when the last time like I wrote an offer, or like if I got to schedule showings, like I got an attitude, like it's just, you know, I've become spoiled, you know, in that sense. But it is, you know, like I said, like we need to be focused our time more on income generating activities. Here, point blank, right? What activities can I do that can directly bring income into the business?
Absolutely.
And it's going to be generating, you know, having conversations with people, sitting down and having coffee meetings and lunch meetings and dinner meetings. Like I can't outsource that, right? I have to show up and I have to be there. And thankfully, I enjoy that. You know, I enjoy
fun part, right?
Going out to eat, you know, and all the good stuff. So, you know, I enjoy those things, but all of the back end, the ancillary details, the administrative, you know, work, like all of that can be delegated and outsourced. So that's what I'm like, you know, I need to just focus more on that. So that's really just where my mindset is like scaling, growth, putting people and systems in places. A great book for that is Who Not How, right? It talks about not how do I do it, but who do I need in place to, you know, get it
Make
done.
that happen.
Yeah. And so, yeah. And then, like I said, the mortgage notes, which I'm very excited, very, very excited about, because it's.
And I'm actually glad you said that, with the shift of your mindset when it came to how many doors I'm accumulating versus, okay, let me focus on this cash flow, because the doors honestly don't mean a thing.
If
you can have 100 doors and not be making no money.
Don't mean a thing.
Right? You can have all these doors and not be bringing in any money.
Yeah,
so I think that's essential, that mindset shift that you have with that. And also you touched on relationships. So how important would you say relationships are in this business?
Oh, relationships are everything. And that's why, you know, it's so important to have integrity and to hold on to integrity and to always do the right thing and to do right by people. So just a reminder, guys, integrity means doing the right thing when no one is looking. Right? Doing the right thing when no one is looking. And so, because eventually, like I said, you know, this is a small world and it's even smaller in real estate. Somebody is going to look, somebody's going to see, somebody's going to peel back the layer, somebody's going to find out, right? And you need to have a strong leg to stand on, you know, just in this business when it comes to doing business. I have had disagreements with people where we have literally, you know, got them on the phone and I had to, you know, let them know, like, this ain't that, but I was able to confidently stand on who I am in this business, you know. So yeah, I'm sorry, what was the question?
No, I was just talking about the importance of relationships in real estate.
Yeah. No, relationships are everything. Like you know, you're gonna get deals through relationships. You're gonna get deals done through relationships, and that's where I was leading with that one. You're gonna get deals done through relationships. You know, you're gonna get offers accepted through relationships. You're gonna get favors done through relationships.
Definitely a
Man,
relationship business for sure.
it really is a relationship business, and you want to make sure, like I said, through and through, that you have integrity. Like again, it's just so important for you to be a woman or a man of integrity in this business, because for whatever reason, like people in real estate, they just don't like to tell the whole truth, right?
You're right.
Like, be honest. Be honest and let the cards fall where they
Yes.
may, right? Like, I have a client literally right now who's having a very hard time selling a property, and probably because the realtor, you know, may not be experienced, or I don't know what it is, but you know, they've tried to hide the fact that like there's a violation on it, and you know, and all X, Y,
It's
and Z.
gonna
I've
come out
sold
anyway.
I have sold properties with violations on them. And guess what? From day one, I said, hey, there's a violation on the property. This is how you handle it. This is how you do it.
Yes.
And become resourceful too, right?
Absolutely.
Have the resources and provide the resources for people to get things done. That's also a very big hack that has helped me in this business.
Absolutely.
So instead of just saying like, hey, here's a problem, I'm presenting a problem, but I'm also presenting a
Yes.
solution, right? And so you have to, you know, real estate is, it can be so complex and it can be so scary, you know, for a lot of people, but it doesn't have to be. You know, let's just have a conversation and let's just figure out how to get, you know, how to get things done. Let's
Absolutely.
get everybody to their end goal. Let's take our emotions out of it. You know, let's not take anything personal. You know, when you're working with a realtor that's on the other side, have respect for that realtor, you know, who is also in the same industry as you, and treat them with, you know, as such. If they don't have experience in the industry, you know, don't be mean to them and don't be like, oh, you know, this realtor don't know nothing or whatever. No, you got to work with them to get the deal done. So if I ever, when I come across realtors who are brand new in this industry and they're on the other side of the deal, I always tell them, I don't care where brokerage you at, call me if you have any questions. Because they're a representative of us.
And we cooperating together to make this happen.
Absolutely.
Yes. So for those that may want to build relationships, do you have any like networking tips?
Yes, I do. Show up. First of all, first and foremost, get in the room. All right.
Yes.
90% of success is showing up. You never know who or what is waiting for you, you know, when you get there. And then when you go to those events, make sure you absolutely, there was definitely a time where we knew nothing, you know, in this industry. But when you go to those events, make sure that, you know, you leave with something, right? Make sure that you're like, man, I'm going into this event because I want to make at least 2 new contacts, right?
Yes.
And even if you just walk away with 2 new contacts, then make sure you follow up
The
with those
follow-up,
contacts.
though.
That's because that's one thing that I will say, that another thing that has aided in my success is my tenacity for like being like, hey, I see this person is here and I want to get there, and they told me to call them. They said I could call, you know. And when people, you know, reach out to you, when people say like you can reach out to me and you don't reach out, your failure is on you, right? Like, people are giving you opportunities, and how many times did we meet somebody that we didn't follow up with?
Yes.
Right? So make sure that when you get in those rooms, that you're going into those rooms with intention, right? That you know what you want to walk away with, and that you're actually following up with people, right?
Yes.
You don't have to get in a room and be a social butterfly and talk to everybody in the room. Like, I'm not asking you to do that, but you absolutely need to show up, and then you absolutely need to, you know, come from a place of value. of course, right? It's not about what I can get either.
Right.
It's never about what you can get. It's always about what you can give. And one of my best friends to this day, who started out as a mentor of mine, I slid in her DMs like years ago, and she's almost twice my age, and she's very successful. And I was like, man, where are the Black women in real estate that I could look up to? Like, I was looking for her, and I went on Black Enterprise and I typed in women in real estate. She came up. I slid in her DMs. She was like, I'll be in Chicago in 3 months. I followed up. Hey, are you still coming? We sat down. We had a 4-hour conversation.
Wow.
We have got money together. We have broke bread together. We have cried together. We have done it all. But I say that to say, reach out with intention, and follow up. Like, there's so much that you can accomplish by literally just doing that.
Well, Rashauna, this has been a super pleasure. Like, you are so real. You so down to earth. You drop so many gems. Let the people know how they can follow you, what you got coming next.
Yeah.
All of those good things before we wrap up.
Okay, so if you are in the Chicagoland area, I do have a free event this Friday at Hughes Chicago in South Loop called House Hacking for the Holidays. It's actually going to be my last team home buying event for the year. So coming out, we're going to talk about all things house hacking, multifamily, all of that good stuff. I also have an event in Philly, Women in Real Estate Summit, November 11th. So if you're on the East Coast, if you're in that area, pull up on me. Other than that, I'm at Rashauna Scott on all platforms, or you can also find me at Flipping in Heels. If you want to have a conversation with me, you can click the link in my bio and schedule an investor consultation. If you're out of state, we can do an investor consultation. And we can, it's like a 45-minute call, and we can talk about your strategy, and we can go over, what it is you got going on, what you're working on, all that good stuff. If you're in the Chicagoland area and you're looking to work with my team, just schedule, a regular home buying call, and we can get you going. And I think that's it for now. I'm making some transitions on the digital side as well, under Flipping the Hills. So, working on some stuff and got some things coming out over there as well. But thank you so much for having me. And I feel like the people that were in the chat, like, they actually was on the entire time. Like, I'm seeing the same name. So thank y'all for staying in here and rocking with us.
Absolutely. We appreciate it.
I hope y'all got something from this.
Well, I'm definitely going to be at the house hacking event. I'm super excited about that. And again, I really appreciate you for joining me on this episode of Building and Bonding. And again, real estate relationships, they are really important, right?
Absolutely.
So let's keep it going. Let's keep growing. I really appreciate everyone who tuned in. I want you all to have a wonderful night. Bye.
Bye, y'all.